what's your name, by the way, again?
Albert.
Albert, right.
Yeah.
Why did you come here, and what do you hope to receive?
Yeah. Well, first, I saw these two cultural identities, sort of, and that's something that I've been working on, I would say, for many years now. And then I actually saw your name there. And because like we were like in VTT, when I was working at VTT,
Oh, right.
we went to Trondheim
right. Oh, wow.
for the first time. Yeah, and I had like a good experience,
Right.
like with you from there in that group. So that was the next reason, and I would say just meeting people.
Meeting people.
Yeah, meeting people who I can, share things with and,
Okay.
contribute to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I saw the post of Anna, I already mentioned. I think I've been reflecting on it quite a bit because it comes to the time when I will hit quarter, and it will be almost a half of my life, and it's very interesting because you feel you just came, and I feel I'm here forever, but was I ever really here? So, and then I saw the post and I'm like, wow, okay, I go and I listen.
Right, so it's a little bit about belonging. Do you feel at home?
Yes, maybe yes.
Right, so it's about meeting people, connecting, and belonging at home.
Okay, my name is Tatiana, and I came here from invitation of Sir Paul. And I mean, we usually talk, he mentors me, and I was like, okay, this is a little bit frustrating. You're in a country that you just go to school, you work, and you don't have time to socialize with people. You don't have time to talk to people. And he was like, oh, we have these events. Come up, and I saw these two cultural identities, and I'm like, okay, I fit perfectly fine. Because when I saw the bus situation, I just remember what happened to me just today when I got to the bus, and every seat was occupied, was just one. I was like, I just picked my courage and sat against somebody, and I was like, I mean, it's really cool to be around people who actually do relate to that and get to understand their own point of view.
Right.
Yeah.
Very well. Thank you.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't have any expectations. I didn't have any expectations before coming to the event. It was the first time I heard about the event, and I just saw. I don't remember where I saw it, in some platform for the event that I just registered. I thought to see the topic seemed relevant to me in a way that I'm like two nationalities, two identities, but also I have a daughter. She's 6-year-old, and I'm thinking all the time how because she was born in Finland. She's like Finnish. She speaks Finnish because she's naturally in an environment. But on the other hand, I would like her to be also Russian speaking, because there's a big Russian community. So that's kind of thoughts. I have these thoughts of how to combine it, what is your identity? Are you a Finnish? You're not a Finnish, but you should not kind of put your second identity or third, whatever, like away. You should embrace it. You should kind of remember that you have, and I always repeat to her that it's an advantage, even though nowadays Russian may seem a little like to some people, but still it's an advantage that you have a possibility to kind of to have both of that and not to, so that's kind of how I got attracted by the topic and by the
Thank you. Right. Anybody else would like to share, or should I just start?
What did you say, Priyanka? Your two cultures, was it Finnian?
Finnian.
I just realized by that same formula that I'm Firish.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I like
I
that
like
or not. It's interesting, Firish. I like some Irish-ish. Yeah, I thought to come here today to meet other people who care about two-way integration. I think it's like that we can experience each other's culture. I think it's Finland first. I don't want Finland to be Irish. That'd be. No, I want to live in Ireland. That wouldn't work. Yeah. So just to meet other like-minded people, and I don't remember where I saw the event. So well done.
I don't know either, but I'm really excited that people saw the event somewhere.
By the way, you can check the time for me, because I'm going to forget.
Yes,
Yeah?
I'll check it out for
Yeah.
you. I will let you know. Don't worry.
Okay, so I have now a little bit of a better idea, maybe what's more interesting to tell, because I had an idea, but maybe this makes more sense. So first I want to say that, we've got asked to be in the panel, and I've been in panels before, but it could just as well be you. There's not really any difference. And the reason I say that is because, what the hell do I know? And I actually mean that, right? I see too many people kind of present themselves as, this is how you make friends, this is how you build a company, this is how you're successful, this is how you're an empowered man / woman / whatever, and it's bullshit, right? but that doesn't mean I cannot share my story. And I'm a huge fan of authenticity. And this, I think, is also where cultures come in. So I was thinking about before already, what does it mean to integrate? And it is a really weird thing to think about because everybody uses the word kind of like as if everybody understands, which is weird. So to me, integration means to be myself within this other culture. I don't want to take my culture and force it, just as Paul said. I don't want to change this into the Netherlands or the Joppe culture, because I came here by choice. I want to be here. But there's part of me that I bring. Part of me that I bring is something I feel I can give to Finns, to Finland. Another part of me I happily left behind, or I learned to leave behind. So for instance, I met my friend Jani here in Finland, one of my first Finnish friends. No, sorry, the first Finnish friend I had. A big Finnish silent man. And every Friday after work we would have drinks. We would sit down, and me, coming from the Netherlands, I would start yapping. And I mean, yeah, I'm just talking. Blah, blah, blah. And in the Netherlands, if I keep talking to you, you interrupt me. That's the rule. You interrupt me, and then you speak. And then somebody else interrupts, and they speak. So, but here it's different, right? Finns, in general, let you finish. So I was just going until I slowly realized after 2 or 3 times, he wouldn't stop me. He would let me finish, then he would pause, wait till I'm surely done, and then he would share a story, right? And after 2 or 3 times, I became deeply ashamed. I was like, damn it, I don't give any space to this man. And I had to learn to slow down how I speak. Also, or ask him. Sometimes it would just go like, what do you think of this, right? So Jani taught me that. And what is really ironic is that, you know, I do a lot of speaking gigs, workshops and whatnot, and I use that to this day. I have learned that I can be on stage and I can pause. In the Netherlands, I would never have done that. I would have filled the air, right? Finland has taught me how to be quiet, how to relax, how to enjoy a warm sauna at a lake with my friends with a beer and not say a word. However, Finns also, in my experience, have a tendency to kind of keep their feelings inside. And no conflict, conflict bad. But where I'm from, I don't mind a bit of conflict. Let's go. Because if I love you, if I care for you, we're going to get better out on the other side, right? If I don't speak to you ever, that means I really don't like you, right? So I took it upon myself to kind of give that to Finland, to other people, because I saw that it can help people. And which is really ironic because now it's my job. I help people to describe what it is that they want. I use the technique of talking slowly and listening and giving you attention. And I show people how it is that they can describe from within what it is that they want and need without the fear of judgment. And I've built a company around that. Without these 2 cultural identities, I could not have done that, right? So I think you actually, Petanka said something about it, is that if we play our cards right, if we understand the differences between the culture, if we're able to look into ourselves, what from this culture do I take that I want? What do I choose? And what from my own culture that I thought was the only one, what do I don't want from that? Then we can see what it is that we maybe can bring. So, and it doesn't matter to me in what kind of field you work. Because whatever that is, these differences, you can let it out. If you're a marketing expert, then use from your own culture what works, right? Why not? So for instance, if I would use my culture, which I do, my marketing is, ta-da! I'm here, right? I'm not afraid of this, right? And it doesn't matter whether you're an engineer, whether you're in HR, you can use this, but you should not be afraid of using it. Because if I'm afraid of using it, then I'm not really being me, am I? And if I'm not being me, then I'm telling myself, don't be you, you bad. And that's terrible for a sense of self. It's terrible for a heart and soul. So we should be here and be ourselves and be at the same time, of course, respectful for the environment that we're in. I mean, it sounds so obvious, right? But we don't really do it. Okay, so that's part one. Part two to me is this. I came to this country, and I think it took me about 3 years to make friends. Or about 3 years. And with friends, I mean friends that you call when things are bad or when you have to celebrate something. Not somebody you just have coffee with. And most people have heard the story of it's hard to make friends, right? Not easy. And I think that a lot of us come to these things because we crave people, we crave connection, we want to meet people, right? But I've also seen time and time again that we don't actually really do anything with it. We come to this event, and the next week there is an event by Tel and Espo, and you're there. And then there's an event by The Shortcut, and you're there. And it's an event by Day Day, and you're there. But you're not really connecting because you're afraid the other probably doesn't want to hang out with me. Because, well, I don't know why actually. I find that it's quite a strange thing. And again, you're saying to yourself, I guess I don't deserve anything. That's the message that you're telling yourself. Not me, not the group. You're telling that to yourself. Subconsciously, right? You're not doing it on purpose. One thing that I did early on, and I actually also think this is part of my Dutch culture and my personal culture, is that if I meet you and I enjoy your company, I do a thing that people find very strange. I will invite myself to do something with you. And I don't care if you like me or not, but I'm going to do it. And the irony is that silly kind of exercise, because it's an exercise, is that if I like you and I want to hang out with you, then why wouldn't you want to hang out with me? You know what I mean? I'm serious. Of course, it helps if you also have something in common. Too many foreigners and immigrants go from foreigner, how would you say that? Foreigner event to foreigner event. And the only thing you have in common is that you're a foreigner. And then you have the conversation of, so where are you from? Which city are you from? The language, like I've had this conversation so often, I want to blow my brains out every once in a while, right? I do it too, by the way, don't get me wrong. Okay, so to find places where are the people like you. So if you like Wing Chun, like Priyanka, you like to hit each other, then go there, right? But then when you're there, you have to be courageous, find courage, and say, hey, would you like to have a coffee with me next week? But it also doesn't end there, because then the week after that, or the month after that, you have to do it again. But it is my experience that if I feel there's a connection between us, and I take the responsibility to meet you a couple times, you will appreciate it because you're afraid to ask me. Especially Finns, by the way. They will not ask me for coffee or dinner or lunch. So if I do it to them, they enjoy it. Right? Make sense? Okay.
Perfect sense.
Nobody does it though.
I felt similar with the difference with age. Like, for example, if I'm like, let's say, like in two people, like I'm older and another person is younger, usually the younger person never asks the older one, like, how are you doing? Would you like to go for coffee or like lunch? And then I felt kind of responsible for asking how they're doing. Would you like to have a coffee? And then,
Yes.
so it's similar, but
Yes.
just with the age.
And then talking about cultural identities, you know, in the Netherlands where I grew up, well, I had my friends there. I don't know, it just kind of happens, right? But we come here, all of a sudden there's literally nothing. We come 0 friends. So we have to make this effort. And I see most people kind of wait. And I get it, right? But if a friendship is something that needs to be cultivated, a community needs to be cultivated. So for instance, my Help Me Help You event, if people would understand the effort and time I put in that, you think I'm insane. Because it's a stupid amount of time. But now it's starting to work. Maybe the same for Integrate. You know, if you do 2 events and you go, yeah, only 7 people showed up and you give up, right? Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have time to do it, but I am convinced that if we would ask people what their interests are here, that at least 4 people would like to meet up. Like, immediately, right? Help Me Help You, just as an example, is only thing I do is I give people an excuse, because I see that people find it so hard. But you don't need an excuse, you can do it yourself. Who am I? What do I want? What do I like? Share it, and then ask people out. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How much time do I have?
1 minute.
Yeah, perfect. So that's it, and there are so many events and things that are not only about finding work, because all these events about foreigners are about work. I can't stand it anymore. But there is art events, there is sports events, there is equester. What is it? Equester, where you do like horse riding. Yeah, thank you. There's so many things, but people don't know because they don't look. And often, like for instance, I had a lady interested in a startup. She goes like, I don't know where to look. And I'm like, what? Just Google startups Helsinki and like that, right? So it is actually not that hard, but you'll have to do it. Yeah? Thank you very much.
I feel a bit guilty why, I have to say why I said 1 minute, simply because I want to give more time so that we can engage with Joppe in the discussion, because I feel this is a really, really practical things that people can take away.